Chum 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 of the month.
Hello, welcome to this month's Chum of the Month, and I'd like to introduce as my special guest chum pal of eternity, the wonderful archivist, Dr Jeffrey Phillips.
Good morning.
It is indeed morning. Jeff and I were at school together. We've known each other, as I say, for most of our lives. And sang in schools together, well, school rather than schools.
Yeah.
In main productions, choirs, and huge friends. Jeff, tell them all the world about how we know each other.
I think my first memory of you, probably, we were in junior school. It was junior or infant school, I don't know, we had that sort of mixed school. And you were...
Infant school, I have to say, I do not remember you at infant school.
No, I don't remember you at infant school, it must have been junior school.
Okay.
Then. But we did, you did, I can remember sitting cross-legged on the floor watching this rather tall girl yodelling a song about a shoe.
From Lucerne to Vegas blue, hollaya, hollaya. That one.
That's the one.
That was my, I don't know, about 8-year-old party piece, and they shoehorned it, because again, I would insist on singing it everywhere I went, into a school production. I can't remember what the school production was, but yes, I was shoehorned in as sort of the Swiss doll or something to perform in the wedding of somebody or other.
The Gnome of Zurich, you mean?
Yeah, it was something, yeah, and it was hollaya, hollaya.
Impressive. I've remembered it. It stuck with me all these years.
I remember that. In fact, I did that because my mother used to push me into these horrible sort of talent competitions as well, because we used to go to Weston-super-Mare on our holidays. And she made me enter this talent contest, and of course I was desperate to do it. But we only knew one verse of this yodeling song, so we had to write and invent new verses. And of course, when the horrible time came, I couldn't remember a word, so I sort of sang the same verse 4 times, and then stopped horribly and said, I forgot!
Oh,
But I still regard it as a triumph, because all the losers got a big box of milk tray, so I still thought a result.
A big result.
And it didn't put me off, amazingly, because you'd think that would traumatise anyone never to want to go on a stage again.
Did your mum ever want you to do beauty pageants when you were a child?
Well, I don't think that was an option, to be honest. But tell me about your singing then, because you haven't given up, have you? You're still going like a great one.
Yeah, it's a different thing though, isn't it? I think, through college you do stuff, and some pretty memorable productions.
To be fair, at school we did stuff. We did so much at
yeah.
school. All those Gilbert and Sullivans and the Christmas concerts and
I don't know that certainly my kids do. My kids are at a really good school, but they don't do that sort of music.
Well, nobody does, because all they want is bloody Simon Cowell and his rubbish old X Factor.
That's exactly what they do. Singing Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, what a pile of poo.
Yeah, but we came out and the big oratorios we knew we could sing them.
Yeah. Do you remember the Pelotsian dances we used to do?
God, and the final top A. Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. God, cha!
Yeah. Well, I remember it. I sang that sometimes afterwards as well.
Of course, well, we would. But you always had the dashing tenor roles in the GNSs, but our greatest triumph, I still think, at school, apart from later on, but I still think our best was the Ruddigore.
I loved the Ruddigore.
I loved Ruddigore. And you were astonishing with all your dancing and hornpipes, because you were actually very athletic in your youth and did lots of gymnastics.
You can tell, because my body is a temple still to this day.
Mine too.
Cheers, darling. Yeah, I was then. It was just post all the gymnastics era, and
yeah,
but
you were very
supple.
Supple.
But it wasn't. No, it was Pirates when I ripped my
Oh,
hamstring.
I remember that. Yeah,
I had an accident doing Ruddigore years later at university and broke my toe.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah.
GNS and you.
It was Ruddigore curse.
But we were a magnificent coupling in my six.
Well, at least we could be the right height for each other.
Exactly. And we did the English version of Bizet's Carmen.
We did.
The Passion Flower.
You've never seen anything quite as sexy in your life.
No. Jeff was a very beautiful, slender, handsome Don José, and I was quite a portly Carmen with a bad perm.
And a little panel sewn to the back of your dress. Not nice to say on camera, but...
And little slipperettes, because if I'd worn shoes, I would have been taller than... Well, not just everybody
Escamillo,
else. Yeah.
however.
Oh, Escamillo came up to my bum, I think. Bless
Yeah.
him. He was great, though. Fair play.
But it must be said, it would have been interesting to see your later take on Carmen, because I remember the scorching raunchiness of your initial thing, where you said, I'm not saying things like that.
But it was so embarrassing, this awful dialogue, which I suppose in French was all this terribly sort of seductive and all, qu'est-ce que tu donnes, qu'est-ce que tu penses, oh là là là. And we had to say things like, if you let me go, what was it?
I will give you the passion flower, and then every woman you meet will fall in love with you.
Wasn't it? Yeah, the gypsy flower
The
or
magic
something?
gypsy flower.
I will give you the magic gypsy flower, then every woman you meet will fall in love with you, I said in this terrible Newport accent.
But it wasn't true, because they didn't.
No, they didn't, because he was
No.
just obsessed with me still, and who wouldn't be in my
Absolutely.
slipperettes?
Indeed.
And you're still singing though, which is lovely.
Yeah, I'm still doing things locally. It's quite nice actually, because I think you get to a stage in your life and you think, I'm never going to do these things ever again, because it's not my job. And
Well, I think that as well, and it was my job.
yeah, possibly. However, financially, it's not such a big problem for me if I don't do them again. But it's but I think so going back to sing things like the Tenor Rose and the Creation and the Christmas Oratorio and the John Passion and things. It's nice. And
Oh, it's amazing.
It's all-
It's very lucky to have friends who are high-powered anaesthetists in good ITU units. In my early 30s, I had a very, very serious illness and found myself in a hospital in Ealing, and they were about to put me on life support machine or put me into a... What did they put me into?
Well, you went on to a ventilator.
I went onto a ventilator, and they were very bleak about the outcome, and they were sort of saying to Jeff, who was looking after me at the time, we don't give her much chance of survival. We think, about 40%. Whereupon Jeff,
Burst into tears. I think was the first thing.
but also said, well, we've got a better chance of that on my IT unit. We're going to have her transported. So there was this huge, great midnight capture, and you drove me over to your unit, and
Yeah.
ta-da! I'm
And she's still
here.
alive.
I'm still standing.
Something survived.
Something has survived. Yeah.
Or in the words of Goldfinger, did you expect me to live?
No, I expected you to die. That's exactly what I said. I said to Jeff, did you think I was going to live though? Did you think? And Jeff said, oh.
No, I expect you to die.
He's just lovely. But anyway, I didn't, and I hugely believe that was because you took me to your unit where they revived and resuscitated and made me well again.
I think you had the best
Yeah.
chance then with.
So
some
thank
great
God,
people
frankly,
like
you didn't want to become a singer.
No,
Otherwise,
indeed,
there
otherwise-
would be no Hilly.
There wouldn't have been, and you'd have just left the world with 2 recordings, and that would have been it.
Did I already have 2 recordings?
Yeah, you'd done the Nyman and the
Aw,
Messiah.
was that my only 2 recordings at the time?
That was it.
God,
Nothing else.
I'd have got tribute shows at that age.
You wouldn't have even got a line in Opera magazine.
I don't think I ever have had a line in Opera magazine, so there's no change there then.
No, well, there you go.
But I also remember it was a lung it was called adult respiratory distress syndrome, the thing that I had. And I remember because I was on life support and couldn't speak, and when eventually they took the tracheotomy out of my throat, and they sort of said, right, and it was, how does that feel? And I said, oh, that feels great. And they all looked at each other thinking, oh my God, her voice is really deep, this is terrible, something terrible's happened to her. And they sort of rang Jeff and said, oh, we're really quite worried because, she doesn't sound terribly healthy. It sounds really, and we know she's an opera singer, and this is, just said, no, that's how she always sounds. She always sounds an octave lower than anybody else.
The worst one is before they took your trachea out, you'd written down, I can't see. And they said, we think she's blind.
She's gone
And I said,
blind.
no, she's just really short-sighted, she needs her glasses.
Yes.
And then it was all better.
I know, how stupid was I though not to put, where's my glasses? Why just say I can't see?
I think you've been given a big cocktail of mind-altering drugs.
Maybe.
And so that possibly had something to do with it.
Yeah, maybe.
We were just pleased you survived, really.
Oh, do you remember I looked like the Michelin Man? Because I was all...
You did, but then
I was
suddenly...
probably the same weight as I am now. So.
Yeah, true. But you lost it. You suddenly weed all the water out.
I
and you were
became,
skinny.
the skinniest I was in my life.
Shoot again.
Goodness.
What
Well,
range of
but the
you?
thing is, we know what weight is like. You're exactly the same. I
I know.
get skinny and then I put it all back on again.
There's a big difference, though, I think, in that, you know, I'm fat at the moment because I tore my cartilage and have been unable to go to the gym to keep myself in Olympian athlete mode. You are fat because you have no willpower. You eat too much.
Sad but true.
Another drink.
Yes, cheers. We are, because our great heritage and tradition was having Christmas carols. We used to go carol singing as kids, and we used to go around the streets of Newport demanding money, but with big groups of very good choristers, and we'd all sing 4-part harmony.
Absolutely.
And basically people wouldn't know what had hit their knocker box.
They didn't indeed. Do you remember going to one house and they phoned their family
Yes,
in Australia?
said, listen to this!
And they
we were
made
there.
us sing the Hallelujah chorus
Yeah.
with Robert Morgan playing the piano.
I know, that's right. we did.
Professor Robert Morgan of somewhere big in the States
He's
now.
in Stanford at one point.
Yeah, he is.
No, we had. Well, we were very lucky. I mean, one of our other school friends was Neil Davis, the renowned bass baritone, and he used to come. He was a couple of years younger than us, so we used to bully him horribly. But he used to
He
come
was
along.
very small.
He still is. No.
It's not true, Neil.
So he used to. We had a very good quorum, to be fair. And yeah, we'd go around the houses, and they'd give us all their money in satsumas, and it would be brilliant.
It was great fun. We used to love that.
So, in honour of that, I'll be putting a little Christmas carol in the Curiosity Cave.
Indeed, we're going to record it this afternoon.
Yeah, we are. Maybe.
You'll notice the flawless legato of Midsummer singing.
Yes, and the perfect diction.
The diction and that
Diction.
Boulesian
Yeah.
sort of harmonies of Veni Veni Emmanuel.
Exactly. Well, let's hope for a good end. Jeff, we will definitely, I'm sure, have many more of you in Chum of the Month, but for this particular chum,
Cheers, dear.